Good morning.
Good
Good morning.
Good
morning,
morning.
How are y'all?
bro.
Great.
You were Mr. Rogers today. Whoa,
That was
it was
great.
awesome.
Yeah, masterclass.
I wanted to say that, Pip Munch, I loved listening to you articulate your process for note taking. I'm always interested in knowing how my students, take the information, disseminate that information in a usable format for themselves, and make it personal to themselves. I love the fact that you said you don't want to share it because
Mhm.
it's treasure. It's your moment of your life, and you encapsulate that moment, and you also bring to it your own concerns, your own focus, the things that's salient to you at that moment, right now, you're in your present understanding in your journey, and that's not something that's everyone else is entitled to that. So
Yeah.
I want to commend you to that. I want to say like that was wonderful. I loved hearing about that, and I like to hear all my students do that type of thing. So well done.
Oh, thank you. The only reason I don't share it is because it has like really private stuff in it, like about my health and stuff like that. That's why I don't share it. But I actually had something, but I didn't know if I was able to talk about it in this space. But I picked something that I could share about some struggles. Like last Saturday, you asked me, how did you overcome the time when you didn't see the results yet? And I said the spaces because they fire me up. They have psychology and everything. But later on, I thought I didn't give any example of such a space and um, something that happened. And I have something that I could share, and it's about tilting and a specific space where you uh, went into that. Kit, can I do this?
Pretty please. Pretty please.
Okay. um, it's the space is a space from March 17th, 2023. So that's when I was maybe 3 months into studying the concept. And I was tilting. I um I was tilting, and my tilting looked like when it didn't go my way, I went like heavy breathing, like stuff like that. And this space is called when being right is no longer enough. Um, the part what I'm talking about starts at 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 53 seconds. Um, it goes into anxiety, panic attacks, how to deal with it. But there's a little quote. I love quotes. And this quote is, "When it happens, oh, when it happens, leave the room where your charts are for minimum of 10 minutes. It's gonna feel like you want to rush back in here and just peek and see what's going on. Don't do it. Do something else. Take a walk, go grab something, drink, stretch out, let 10 minutes pass. All of the adrenaline, the cortisol, and all the hormones your body is releasing will burn off in 10 minutes." End of the quote. So, for me, um, I when I'm in the notes in the final version where I put the psychology in and stuff, what I started doing is I started to write it down. So what's happening when I go tilting? What's going on? How does it start? At first, I thought it's the breathing, it's the yelling at the chart. I start screaming at the chart, and like I told Kid right now, I speak 3 languages, but somehow yelling at the chart is in Italian. I'm cursing at it in Italian. Um, I had to dig deeper because that wasn't the solution. The digging deeper was done by continuing to taking the notes because I had to find a pattern. Like, what is it that's repeating um, that keeps me going into this? And in the space is also something about the bodily sensation, what is going on when you go on tilt. And I found that my tilt, and I only found that by taking all those notes and finding the pattern. And what I found was that it begins with I can feel my blood is starting to flow upwards from my hands through my arms to my shoulders to my neck. Then the neck gets hot, and then it goes to my face. When it gets to my face, I'm in the danger zone. I'm tilting if it gets to my face. So if that happens, I'm not gonna get cooked by the market. I'm gonna get fried like a KFC chicken wing, totally fried. Leaving the room, I tried all of those things. Leaving the room, go to the kitchen, grab a drink. Michael said all those things. Go take a walk. I tried punching in a pillow, screaming in a pillow. It was not enough. So at some point, I learned that what I have to do is when the blood reaches my neck, not my face, the neck, I have to switch off my phone. I have to shut down the laptop and I have to go into the shower because that puts two barriers up. One is to get back to trading, I have to restart the phone, the laptop, everything, and I have to reopen everything. So it's not as easy to go back and ignore everything. The second one is when you're in the shower, there's water, your hands are wet, you're away, you're just done, you're away. And I don't come out until I'm totally calmed down, and then my trading day is over. I get out, I grab my notebook, the hard copy with the pen, write down what happened, I order some food, and I put on a space in my headphones. I can tell you I have never tilted again after that. So that's what I wanted to add to that.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to say something real quick.
Yes.
The fact that you're willing to talk about that openly, there's a lot of people listening, and a lot of people will listen to it as a recording. The fact that you're willing to share that, because it's intimate, number one, it's private, it's vulnerable. Okay,
Yeah.
it proves your vulnerability, and you're growing, honestly, in maturity. You don't even realize it right now because what you just did, you laid down those things that are plaguing the majority of people online right now.
Yeah.
The perception of what if you don't do it right? How will you be judged? And now what you just did was, I went on tilt. These are my signals to tell me, like I'm getting ready to go do that again. So what does that mean? It means that you're human. That means it's likely that you can do it again if you don't check yourself, if you don't put
Yeah.
procedures and protocols in place. And the fact that you've done those things and you've removed yourself from the stimuli, that's perfect. You did it perfectly. And I just want to say that what you've done, I'm thankful for your willingness to do it. And everybody should have their own means and mechanisms to separate themselves from the impulsiveness that trading will lead to in terms of tilting. Awesome job. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. It's due to your spaces. That's why I keep emphasizing people to listen to the spaces when you're doing stuff. If you're vacuum in the gym, just listen to a space. You're gonna get something out of it.
Wow. I just want to add, Pit Munch, something you do, and it's a technique that you mentioned within Tilt. I think it's a really good thing because one of the things I think we like to talk a lot about here is manifestation. And I believe going into the water, when you're in the shower, you can really amplify your thought and your feeling towards the things that you're looking to manifest. So if you can really pray in a shower in water, you're going to find that water, the water crystals, the everything about the water within prayer, within meditation will add an amplification, and it will when you're sending positive messages, the water then showers you with those messages. So your thought, your reality, your projection, your manifestation, it's an extremely meditative process in the shower. And this is from a guy who does this actively. So I'm trying to convey to you something that's very, very, very important for you to do, and that's really raise your thought and your feeling within the shower, as you mentioned,
Thank
Munch. I
you.
love,
Yeah,
I love that
I
you.
believe in God, so yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a technique. When we talk about techniques, it's important for me as an older gentleman to try and offer techniques and the idea of crystals, the idea of energy, the idea of water, the idea of thought and feeling and meditation, manifestation. These are all, none of these are things that you're going to be listening to within the programs that we come from. I want to get into it more. It's difficult. It's kind of abstract, but honestly, as traders, we come from a world, a lower vibratory sense of self-destruction. We all have this form of self-destruction, and the charts do a great job with tilt, within our own psychology of forcing that self-hate, that self-loathing, that anger, that all of the low vibratory states that you have. You don't realize that you live in those frequencies until you come to the chart as a trader. I'm here to tell you that. I didn't learn who I was as a human being, or even that I could acknowledge those states until the market punished me.
I agree.
I had to come to the market within that state, and the market had to destroy me in that state. And then I had to document and acknowledge it. And within journaling and within a lot of self-realization, you can begin to break the spell, the cast that's cast upon you at an early age that you put on yourself. We come from this, again, like, to say that there's this low vibratory sense of self-hate. So many people want to feel sorry for themselves. They're just angry, and they come from this place, and it's a frequency. But what we try and do is, within trading and within what Michael's entire career has been about, and that's that ability to manifest, that ability to have hope, that ability to make a good decision and see the fruits of that labor, and understand that success is a delayed mechanism. It never comes right away. If it comes right away, it's vapid, shallow. It's not real. Success comes through hard work and delayed gratification. Again, that is shown on the charts. That is shown within the mentorship. That is up to you, the trader, to understand and align yourself with the principles that are what the guiding light that is operating within specific process and procedures, laws, guidance. Michael is showing you how not to break yourself against the market, but instead align yourself within the principles and values of yourself.
Beautiful.
The market is a frequency that's going to churn a lot of negative information that you have on yourself. And it's going to regurgitate and puke all of that negativity onto the chart. You will do that. The chart will regurgitate that. It's up to you to break that spell. Part of being a novice new trader is breaking the spell of self-hatred. You overtrade and you overleverage because you don't think you're worthy of the success that you are portraying yourself to have or potentially have. You want to be worthy of that success, therefore you must break the spell. And I'm a very firm, strong believer in this because I've had to break through it. And we all live in a level of self-hatred and self-doubt. And not acknowledging that as a trader is not acknowledging the overtrading and the tilt that we do. And how do you get over that is you break the spell. Your why, your purpose. Those begin to create the ways in which you break the spell of overtrading, overleveraging, of following this rinse and repeat cycle of failure because you don't allow yourself to be worthy of what you want to be. I wonder who I'm talking to in this crowd that can relate with that message.